My sister is furious that I'm sticking to my adults-only wedding, which has been the plan I've been telling her for the last year, and now she's crashing out and saying she's going to crash my wedding if her kids aren't invited. I, 28F, am getting married next month, and I've been planning this wedding for almost a year. My fiancé, 31M, and I both agreed we wanted an adults-only event, mostly because we envisioned a more formal evening. Also, the venue is small and very upscale, not really the best place for young kids to be running around. The problem is my sister, 32F, who has 2 kids, 5 and 7. When I first mentioned the no kids policy, she didn't seem too upset, but as we got closer to the wedding, she started dropping hints about how hard it would be for her to find a sitter. I totally get that it's tough, but I did offer to pay for a local sitter to stay with her kids at her hotel for the night, so she could attend the wedding without worrying. Well, she didn't like that suggestion. She says it's unfair because our other sister's wedding, 3 years ago, was family-friendly and allowed kids. But at the time, our niece and nephew were much younger and quieter. At this age, they're really energetic and love running around, and they tend to get cranky at night, which isn't what I want on my wedding day. It's become a big point of contention. She's now saying that if her kids aren't invited, she's not sure if she'll attend, which honestly hurts a bit. My mom have told me it is our choice, since we are the ones getting married, and I feel like I've been flexible and offered a good solution, but she's making me feel guilty for not bending this rule for family. So, am I a jerk for sticking to the no kids rule and potentially making my sister feel unwelcome? Update. Sorry it has taken so long to write the update. To be honest, I totally forgot about my post. Between the wedding, the honeymoon and the family drama, it just slipped my mind, but better late than never, right? Well, the wedding happened, and let's just say it wasn't without its moments. Buckle up, because this is a ride. So after the last post, me and my now husband decided to allow kids at the ceremony but kept the reception adults only. My sister wasn't thrilled but said she would figure something out. I took that to mean she was actually going to find someone to take the kids after the ceremony. Ha! Cute of me to assume. And it's not like I don't like my nephew and niece, they're adorable and sweet when we babysit them, because they know we set rules. But when my sister is there, they don't listen to anything cause she and her husband lets them do whatever they want. The ceremony was beautiful. My niece and nephew had their iPads, so they were still and well behaved, and for a moment, I thought everything would go smoothly. How naive I was. After the ceremony, me and my newlywed husband stayed to take some more photos, and then we moved to the reception. Guests were already mingling, drinks were being poured, and I was feeling great. Then, out of the corner of my eye, I saw my sister, her husband, and the kids. I thought she was just waiting for someone to come pick them up and didn't think much of it. Then about 20 minutes later, my nephew bolted across the room and in between tables, nearly colliding with my stepfather. I looked at my maid of honor and we both walked over to my sister. Keeping my voice low, I reminded her that the reception was adults only. She sighed dramatically, like I was personally ruining her life, and said, "We couldn't find a sitter last minute, so we'll just keep them for a little while." No. I calmly told her that I had given her multiple options, including a fully vetted, well-recommended sitter and her own in-laws, but she thanked no to the sitter and apparently didn't ask her in-laws. She just shrugged and said, "Well, we're already here, and they're behaving fine." At that exact moment, glass shattered, my heart dropped. The entire room went dead silent. I looked around trying to figure out what happened. And saw my aunt, God bless her, I love her so much, lifting my nephew and handing him over to my stepdad. He was fortunately okay. He didn't step in any glass, because my lovely aunt were close enough to control the situation. My dad and husband cleaned all the glass up. Apparently my nephew had been crawling under the tables and must have pulled the tablecloth by accident, making a plate and a few glasses fall and shatter. Thankfully nobody got hurt and the glass got cleaned up. My maid of honor helped find some new glasses and a plate. And when the chaos was taken care of, I went back to my sister and told her she needed to get the kids home. Now. And she? Lost her mind. My sister started yelling. She said stuff like, "I can't believe you're choosing a stupid rule over your own family. You are being a total bridezilla. And you are literally kicking out your own niece and nephew like they're stray dogs." At this point, people were staring. My husband came over to back me up, and my sister's husband came to calm her down. She said she couldn't drive them home since she had already had something to drink. My brother-in-law, her husband, said he would drive them to his parents' place. She got even more mad and said that she couldn't leave her kids just to be at a wedding. My mom then told her that she could leave too. Then my sister stormed out, while muttering about how I was selfish and heartless. My Bill, her husband, just stood there looking so embarrassed before awkwardly getting their kids, apologizing to me and my husband, and then following her out. The rest of the night went really nice. We had so much fun and it was just a genuinely good night. My husband and I took a taxi to our hotel around 3. The party didn't end till around 5 or 6, but we were tired and just decided it was enough for us. We fell asleep right away, and it was honestly the best sleep ever. I thought the drama was over, but nah, that would be too boring, right? Honestly, I wouldn't mind some boring moments. The next morning, I say morning but it was after 1 p.m., we were both pretty hungover and decided to just order some pizza, since we didn't want to go down to eat with a whole lot of people in the cafe down in the hotel restaurant. I checked my phone while he ordered pizza and saw my mom had written me to not pay attention to the post, she would take care of it. I was so confused and didn't know what she was talking about, but then I saw my sister's post on Facebook. My sister had posted a full-on rant about how I humiliated her in front of everyone and made her choose between her kids and her family. She claimed I was targeting her for having a fancy wedding and excluding her kids, and she heavily implied that I had disinvited her because I hated being an aunt. And hated her kids. Some of our distant relatives, who weren't even at the wedding, started calling me out. One of my cousins commented, "Wow, some people take weddings way too seriously. It's just one night." Luckily, my God-sent mom and dad were not having it. They had both jumped into the comments to set the record straight, saying, I had given her plenty of options and she was fully aware of the rule months in advance. I literally offered to pay for a sitter that she refused to use. I didn't want to get into it and just turned off the phone. A few days after the wedding, Bill, my sister's husband, called me to apologize. He admitted that he had begged my sister to either accept my offer of a sitter or leave the kids with his parents, but she refused because she thought I'd cave at the last minute. He was mortified by how she acted and told me he had no idea she was going to make a scene like that. Apparently, they got into a huge fight about it afterward because he was embarrassed that she made a huge scene. I didn't really say much. We had planned our honeymoon to be from the 3rd of January till the 12th of January so that we could hold Christmas and New Year's with our families. And the temperature is better in January for a skiing trip. We held Christmas at my husband's parents and it was really nice. We then spent New Year's with some of our friends. My sister did not speak to me at all since the wedding. She did take down the post though. We went on our honeymoon and it was so much fun. We both snowboard, though on total different skill levels, him being just a tiny bit better. My sister called to apologize during the trip, but it really just ended up with her belittling me for kicking her out of the wedding. So, that's fun. I guess. Do I regret kicking her out? Absolutely not. My wedding was so much better after she left. No drama, just a perfect night with the people who I love. Am I mad about the Facebook post? Not really. My mom and dad dragged her so hard in the comments that she eventually deleted it. Am I still talking to my sister? Barely. She has yet to actually apologize and still acts like I was the unreasonable one. At this point, I'm just letting her stew in her own bad decisions. So yeah. Hope you enjoyed the read even though the update is a bit late.